Hello there, I'm Azaria Tagaya and this is Nightline, the top stories. Larger civil service reforms to be carried out from this month. And SMS with prohibited content banned starting September 1st. Good morning. The Prime Minister said large-scale reforms involving government departments and agencies will be carried out this month. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said he would soon meet with Chief Secretary to the Government, Datuk Sri Shamsul Azri Abu Bakar, and Director General of the Public Services Department, Datuk Sri Wan Ahmad Dahlan Abdul Aziz, to develop a strategy for improving the performance of the public service. Speaking at the monthly assembly at the Prime Minister's department on Monday, Anwar said that the move is necessary after it was found that reforms involving the consolidating of government departments and agencies remained at an unsatisfactory level.
Pertindihan perjawatan yang kadang-kadang yang kurang perlu itu masih belum di tingkat yang memuaskan. Laporan daripada ketua-ketua jabatan, ketua pengarah, ketua-ketua unit tentang kelembaban, kecuaian beberapa pegawai itu pun belum ke tahap yang memuaskan. Semua ini harus kita lakukan kerana kita mesti melakukan anjakan yang sebaiknya.
Anwar also urged all public servants to give Shamsul, who was appointed Chief Secretary to the government on August 12th, their full cooperation. He stressed that this was key to ensuring that the reforms the government has planned can be rolled out in a smooth and effective manner. Malaysia and New Zealand have agreed to expand their bilateral trade by 50% by 2030. Both countries also agreed to strengthen trade, investment and research involving all fields, including the halal industry. The agreement was reached in a meeting between Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim and his New Zealand counterpart Christopher Luxon in Putrajaya.
We both agreed in this bilateral session that we had to enhance collaboration in trade, investments, in research, in particularly all areas, including halal industry.
Anwar said he will hold a cabinet meeting on Tuesday to get advice on what to do to explore closer friendship. New Zealand was Malaysia's 28th biggest trading partner last year, with the value of trade between the two countries reaching 11.56 billion ringgit or $2.54 billion.
There's much that New Zealand can learn from you, and your exceptional success attracting foreign investment is something that I look forward to and have enjoyed discussing with you today as well.
Luxon arrived in Malaysia on Sunday for a 3-day official visit. He was accorded an official welcome at Dataran Perdana in Putrajaya. This is his first visit to Malaysia since being appointed as the Prime Minister of New Zealand on November 27th. In the same media conference, Anwar said that Malaysia hopes that New Zealand will facilitate more of its students to study energy transition and food technology in the country.
Students' exchange, we have benefited from these exchanges in the past. There are New Zealand students in Malaysia, but also increasing number, and we have asked him to facilitate the possibility of getting more students to New Zealand, particularly the postgraduate, in new areas where they have shown to have their expertise.
The Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) has enforced a ban on prohibited content in short message service SMS messages starting Monday. The move aims to protect users from being victims of scams involving SMS messages exploited by criminals disguising themselves as authorized parties to deceive the public. The ban order was announced in a statement published on the Commission's website. The banned content includes hyperlinks, requests for personal information and a callback number. Following this, the MCMC has urged the public to remain vigilant against SMS messages containing such content, as they should be considered as high risk and potential fraud. Individuals who are still receiving such messages can file a complaint with the MCMC. Complaints should include the sender's phone number or short code sender address, recipient's phone number, the location and a screenshot of the SMS message. The MCMC also reminded the public to be aware of similar messages sent through other messaging platforms such as Google RCS, Apple iMessage, WhatsApp and Telegram. The Mpox vaccine will be distributed in Malaysia through the COVID-19 ASEAN Response Fund. In confirming this, Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said the MVABN vaccine and the antiviral tecovirimat T-Pox medication will be distributed in the country. According to his post on social media, Dr. Zulkifli said the vaccines will be specifically administered to high-risk groups, including healthcare workers and confirmed close contact cases, and that there will be no public vaccinations. There have been 31 suspected Mpox cases reported earlier in August. However, 25 cases were confirmed negative, while 6 others were being monitored. Dr. Zulkifli also announced that Malaysia Airports Holdings Berhad is working with his ministry to tighten screening procedures using thermal scanners for travellers entering the country through Terminal 1 of the Kuala Lumpur International Airport KLIA. Flights from high-risk countries or symptomatic passengers will be directed to another health screening gate along with all of the passengers and crew members to conduct further screenings. If passengers exhibit symptoms such as swollen glands, blistered skin and high body temperatures, a health alert card will be handed to them or they will be referred to the nearest healthcare facility. The automated people mover system, Aerot train at Kuala Lumpur International Airport is expected to be operational again by January 31st, 2025. Transport Minister Anthony Loke said that 2 sets of the Aerot train, which arrived last week, are now entering the installation phase and will enter the inspection phase following that.
Fasa ini sudah tentu mengambil masa beberapa bulan, 4 hingga 5 bulan, untuk semua ujian-ujian yang diperlukan untuk setiap komponen, bermula daripada static testing, iaitu untuk lihat aircon berfungsi atau tidak, electrification dan sebagainya, dan selepas itu pada bulan hadapan, pada bulan Oktober akan bermula dynamic testing, iaitu train ini akan diuji menggunakan track yang sebenarnya.
Loke added that Malaysia Airports Holdings Berhad MAHB needs to closely monitor and ensure that all processes and tests are carried out properly to avoid further delays. In total, MAHB will receive 3 Aerot train sets, each with 3 coaches that can accommodate a capacity of 270 passengers. He also said that the shuttle bus service previously used to replace the Aerot train will continue as an option for passengers due to the large passenger movements at the moment. A Malaysian Airlines MAS plane on a flight from Kuala Lumpur International Airport KLIA to Incheon International Airport was forced to turn back on Monday morning. The MH66 flight departed KLIA at 12:01 a.m. before turning around and landing safely due to technical issues. MAS issued a statement saying that the flight made a precautionary return and landed safely at KLIA at 1:30 a.m. as it had issues relating to its hydraulic system. All passengers were accommodated at a hotel near the airport. The flight bound for Incheon International Airport was rescheduled to depart at 8 p.m. on Monday. The return leg, MH67D, had also been rescheduled to depart at 5:10 a.m. local time on Tuesday. This is the 5th incident involving the airline's flights being forced to turn back or diverted in less than a month. Previously, flight MH152 departed Kuala Lumpur to Medina, Saudi Arabia and had to turn back after experiencing a pressurization issue on August 22nd. Meanwhile, the Malaysian Aviation Commission MAVCOM said the affected passengers are entitled to a full refund in the event that they choose not to continue with their journey.
Bagi penumpang yang patah balik dari Seoul, pertamanya airline akan bagi rerouting on the next available flight. Kalau passenger tak nak rerouting, dia boleh minta refund juga. Ya.
Dan apa bentuk refund yang mereka boleh?
Terpulang dengan bayar baliklah. Kalau mereka bayar dengan cash, akan bayar balik dengan cash.
The provision comes under the latest amendments to the MAVCOM Malaysian Aviation Consumer Protection Code MACPC 2016 that came into effect on Monday. Previously, airlines were not subject to offer compensation if their flight disruptions were caused by circumstances beyond their control. Beginning Monday, airlines will have to provide meals, phone calls and internet access to passengers for flights delayed by 2 hours or more on the day of departure. For delays of 5 hours or more, passengers will also get hotel accommodation when necessary, transport between the hotel and airport, and a refund in the original payment mode within 30 days. Commenting on the issue, Transport Minister Anthony Loke said the ministry has requested that Malaysia Airlines provide a comprehensive report on the incident.
Saya telah berhubung dengan mereka. Tadi laporan lengkap, kita tunggu laporan lengkap berkenaan dengan masalah teknikal tersebut dan saya telah meminta pihak MAS untuk membuat kenyataan berkenaan perkara itu.
In today's digital landscape, legal frameworks are essential for driving effective preventive measures, accountability and transparency, in line with the government's commitment to protecting its citizens from harm. The Communications and Multimedia Content Forum of Malaysia, CMCF, said self-regulating content to address online harms should serve as a complement to licensing frameworks rather than a replacement. Since its establishment, CMCF has proven a track record of successful self-regulation, particularly in ensuring that its members adhere to evolving content standards and best practices. This includes addressing critical issues such as hate speech, representation of persons with disabilities, safe portrayal of children in content, and many more. CMCF Chairman and Media Prima Berhad Group Managing Director Rafiq Ghazali said with online service providers OSPs now under licensing oversight, the forum remains dedicated to facilitating the development of content standards that effectively address harmful content and online harms. Meanwhile, CMCF Chief Executive Officer CEO Mediha Mahmood said it values the productive partnerships it has established with several OSPs and ongoing online safety initiatives. She added that the initiative is crucial for aligning with national laws and enhancing collective efforts to prevent and mitigate harmful online content. More than 10 dead as tropical storm lashes the Philippines. News from the foreign front when we return. We're back with the foreign news. A general strike has disrupted industry, services and education across parts of Israel as demands for the government to agree a ceasefire deal and bring remaining captives home from Gaza grow. Monday's general strike, called by the country's largest labour union, Histadrut, was aimed at disrupting sectors of the economy, including banking and healthcare, and shutting down the country's main airport and education institutions. Huge rallies were also held on Sunday night, calling on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to secure a ceasefire deal that would bring the remaining captives home. This came as the US President Joe Biden claimed that Benjamin Netanyahu is not doing enough to secure a hostage deal and ceasefire with Hamas, amid reports suggesting a new proposal would be sent to the Israeli Prime Minister as final. Biden, who met negotiators in the Situation Room with Kamala Harris on Monday to hammer out a proposal, added that the US would not give up and would push as hard as we can for a deal. US officials have categorized the latest proposal as a quote-unquote take-it-or-leave-it deal. In the meantime, following its review of Israel's compliance with international humanitarian law in the course of its military operations in Gaza, British Foreign Secretary David Lammy has announced that the UK is suspending approximately 30 export licenses for military equipment. The 30 licenses, out of a total of around 350, include components for military aircraft, helicopters, drones and items which facilitate ground targeting. Officials said the government has concluded there is a clear risk that items exported to Israel might be used in serious violations of international humanitarian law. They, however, emphasized that it is not an arms embargo and that the government's assessment is not designed to prejudge the outcomes of work by international courts such as the ICJ and ICC. Thailand's new Prime Minister, Paetongtarn Shinawatra, on Monday said that she has finalized the lineup of her cabinet and expects to submit the ministerial appointments for royal endorsement. She said that all candidates have been vetted after a lengthy process and that the list of 35 ministers will be submitted as soon as this week. According to local media reports, the new cabinet is expected to retain the current finance and foreign ministers, but will likely see 11 new ministers and deputy ministers. The new coalition government, led by Paetongtarn's Pheu Thai Party, is expected to officially take office by mid-September. At least 11 people were killed after tropical storm Yagi dumped heavy rain in the Philippines for a second day on Monday. Authorities said the eastern city of Naga was among the hardest hit as the storm sliced off its coast overnight on Sunday, leaving 2 people dead while 9 other people were killed in the city of Cebu and 3 other areas of the hilly community due to landslides and floods. The city's public safety office reported that the floods were above head height in some areas, but hundreds of residents have been evacuated during the rescue process. In the meantime, more than 300 people remained at evacuation camps, with local officials saying the floodwaters in the city were slow to recede due to high tide. Thousands of U.S. hotel workers went on strike for improved pay and conditions amid union warnings that industrial action could escalate. More than 10,000 workers on Sunday walked off the job at hotels in Boston, Seattle, Honolulu and Connecticut, as well as the Californian cities of San Diego, San Francisco and San Jose, after contract talks with the establishment's owners collapsed. Staff are demanding wage increases and the reversal of pandemic-era job cuts that union organizers say has increased the workload of remaining workers and imposed painful working conditions. The Unite Here union, which represents workers in hotels, casinos and airports across the US and Canada, warned that staff in other cities were ready to join the strike. A Taiwanese court on Monday ordered the release of a former mayor and presidential candidate who was arrested over his alleged role in a corruption scandal, citing insufficient evidence for his detention. Taipei District Court ruled that Ko Wen-je, the leader of the Taiwan People's Party, should be released after finding that prosecutors had failed to make the case for his detention. The court stated that prosecutors had not met the standard of there being a high possibility Ko had committed a crime. Speaking to reporters outside the court, Ko said that there was no evidence of his involvement in the real estate scandal. The 65-year-old was arrested on Saturday over his alleged role in a property development scandal that occurred when he was mayor of Taipei from 2014 to 2022. Kane and Müller lift Bayern to win over Freiburg. Sports after this breather. Sports now, the 2024 Paris Paralympics. National para-badminton ace Chia Liek Hao gave Malaysia its first gold medal in Paris after he successfully defended his title in the men's singles SL4 final on Monday night. The 2020 gold medalist was in amazing form as he pulled off a superb 21-13, 21-15 win over Suryo Nugroho of Indonesia. Meanwhile, sprinter Eddie Bernard delivered an impressive performance as he clinched Malaysia's first medal in the men's 100 metres T44 final on Monday. The Sabah sprinter running in lane 3 got off to a good start but lost a bit of momentum mid-race before crossing the finish line in 11.58 seconds for the bronze medal. The result allowed the 23-year-old Paralympic debutant to break the old Asian record of 11.75 seconds set by Sri Lanka's Indika Gamage at the 2024 World Para-Athletics Championships. Earlier, the first jump by national para-athlete Jonathan Wong-Kar-Gee provided a ray of hope for the Malaysian contingent that he would be able to secure at least a bronze in the men's T12 long jump event. However, Argentine Fernando Vasquez's final jump of 6.88 metres shattered his hopes of taking home a medal, surpassing the 6.85 metre mark of Kar-Gee's first attempt and leaving him in fourth place. In the swimming event, national para-swimmer Muhammad Nur Shaiful Zulkafli was on top of his game as he advanced to the final of the men's 100-metre breaststroke SB4 final. The 29-year-old from Sarawak finished third in the first heat with a time of 1 minute 45.15 seconds. On to football now. The German Bundesliga, a Harry Kane penalty and a goal by Thomas Müller were enough to give Bayern Munich all 3 points as they beat Freiburg 2-0. The home side took the lead in the 38th minute after Kane converted from the spot following Max Rosenfelder's handball error. The second half was a much quieter affair until Serge Gnabry's cross found Müller, who beautifully controlled the ball and smashed it past Freiburg's goalkeeper in the 78th minute to win their first home game of the season. Freiburg had the chance to grab a consolation in stoppage time after they were awarded a penalty, but Lucas Holler failed to convert it. With the win, Bayern moved up to second place in the standings with 6 points, while Freiburg at 10th place with 3 points. Turning to tennis, the 2024 US Open, Alexander Zverev has his eyes on a maiden Grand Slam title after sealing a spot in the quarter-finals. The fourth seed, who lost in the final at Flushing Meadows in 2020 and Roland Garros earlier this year, breezed through the last 8 with a 3-6, 6-1, 6-2, 6-2 win over Brandon Nakashima. Next up for the German is world number 12, Taylor Fritz. Joining him was Francis Tiafoe. The American returned to the US Open quarterfinals for the third straight year, beating Alexei Popyrin 6-4, 7-6, 2-6, 6-3. The number 20 seed will attempt to match the best Grand Slam result of his career when he faces number 9 Grigor Dimitrov on Tuesday for a berth in the semi-finals. In the women's category, defending champion Coco Gauff became the latest big-name casualty to exit when Emma Navarro won her fourth-round match 6-3, 4-6, 6-3 to down her stunned American compatriot for the second time in a Grand Slam this year. 23-year-old Navarro will now face Spain's Paula Badosa in the quarter-final. Four police officers arrested over extortion. This and more when we return. You're back with us on Nightline. The Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court on Monday has barred public disclosure of CCTV footage allegedly showing Israeli national Abatan Shalom. Judge Norina Zainul Abidin made the ruling after Deputy Public Prosecutor Ruliza Abdul Majid told the court that the CCTV footage should only be used as a reference by expert witnesses during trial. Earlier, Ruliza handed over the CCTV footage and applied for the defence not to disclose it to any third parties or the public, as it will be the prosecution's exhibit. The defence did not object and said that the recording will only be limited to their experts. The court has set September 30th for next case mention. The 38-year-old Abatan was slapped with a charge under the Firearms Act in April for trafficking 6 guns, as well as one charge under the Arms Act for possessing 200 bullets. He faces a jail term of between 30 and 40 years and a maximum 6 strokes of the cane if found guilty of gun trafficking. He also faces a maximum of 7 years imprisonment, a fine of no more than 10,000 ringgit or both if convicted of being in possession of ammunition. An officer and 3 policemen stationed at the Seri Alam District Police Headquarters in Johor have been arrested for allegedly extorting some 45,000 ringgit from 2 businessmen. Johor Police Chief Commissioner M. Kumar said the individuals were detained after one of the businessmen lodged a report on August 28th.
Kertas siasatan seperti biasa akan dirujuk ke Bukit Aman dan seterusnya kepada Yang Arif Timbalan Pendakwa Raya untuk arahan dan nasihat selanjutnya. Buat masa ini siasatan masih berjalan.
Kumar explained that the 4 have been released on bail and have been assigned to non-active desk duties pending investigations. He added that an internal investigation is also underway and assured that decisive action would be taken if the 4 are found guilty. The 4 individuals are being investigated under Section 384 of the Penal Code. Also in Johor, a mother and her daughter were among 5 people arrested for allegedly trafficking drugs. Johor Bahru Selatan District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Raub Slamat on Monday said police carried out 3 raids involving apartments within the city area last Tuesday based on intelligence gathering. In a raid in Taman Pelangi, police arrested a woman, her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. The trio then provided information that led to the arrest of 2 more suspects. Both men were arrested on the same day, with one of them believed to be the syndicate's mastermind. Police seized 4.9 kilograms of shabu worth more than 157,000 ringgit, as well as ketamine and ganja. They also seized more than 1,000 ringgit in cash, a fake gun and 2 vehicles. The suspects, aged between 37 and 69, had 47 criminal and drug-related records, while 3 of them tested positive for drugs. The syndicate is believed to have been operating since July, with the drugs being sold between 120 and 200 ringgit per packet. All 5 suspects have been remanded until September 9th. Now, as Nightline draws to a close this time around, let's take a look as Hong Kong held its first Sardine Festival, a celebration of Portuguese culture as visitors indulged in Portuguese cuisine while enjoying the backdrop of fado music. With that, I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.